Welcome to another episode of Retro 79, and today we're going to continue looking at our Savage World line, and we're going to be looking at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface action figure. Now, I had already introduced you to one of the other figures in the range. That was the 5.5-inch Freddy Krueger figure, which I thought was really cool. Really nice to put together, lovely sculpt, and really cool accessory. Now, since then, there was one thing that I did notice that happened because my daughter got into my studio and was playing around with my figures, and what happened was this. One of the nails on the glove lifted up here, so it just shows you that not as well put together, and that they're not really a play toy, that they're more of like a display kind of figurine more than anything else, because that came off so quickly. In a matter of seconds, she had it already lifted up like that. So, not very sturdy plastic. This part is glued on. They could have really just done as one mold, but I think they were just trying to keep that kind of blade effect. So it's the only problem there you have with that. Apart from that, really cool figurine. Maybe looking at it again, the colors a little bit dull, paint job a little bit muted, but a really cool texture on the figurine. The face was really cool, nice articulation, and this figurine, not too loose, not too stiff, and really cool looking figure. Now, today's figure, we're looking at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface figure, another one of my favorite horror movies. I didn't get to see this until a little bit later on, and what a movie. Just, it still holds up to this day, still fantastic. The remakes, they're okay, but in all honesty, the only good one has been the first one, and the others are okay. They're a different type of movie. I have to watch them again, but definitely not as iconic as or as amazing as the first movie. First movie was really a product of its time, and just great. It really pushed the boundaries in horror cinema. If you look at a few years before that, you've got like Night of the Living Dead, and that started to push new boundaries, move into areas that maybe they weren't allowed before. The likes of Psycho as well, another movie that was really taking things up another level and to places people had never experienced before. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre really blew the door open and influenced a lot of other grindhouse movies and schlock movies of that era. So as you can see, this is already open. My daughter got in and she opened this up. Now, looking at the card art again, I have to say the typeface is cool. It's a nice logo, but this backing card just doesn't do it for me. It's very lazy, and it looks like just a 2-minute, 5-minute job in Photoshop. It's not great, and really they could have benefited from maybe like some painted card art, of the characters or something. Would have been a lot cooler rather than this boring, just poorly drawn artwork. It doesn't do it for me. It's such a shame because the figures do deserve a better card back than this. Yeah. We look at the collection again. Get some cool stuff here. The pinhead comes with the little cube as well. That's really cool. Michael Myers, yeah, looks okay. And the Leatherface figure, yeah, this is cool. Jason Voorhees figure looks class. Looks like a gladiator. Very cool. Now, so let's get back to this figure and let's open it up. As you can see, he has two accessories. He's got a mallet, and he's got, of course, his signature chainsaw. Now the mallet, if you remember the first movie, there's a scene where he picks up a big wooden mallet to take out one of his victims in one of his first appearances in the movie. Pretty shocking scene, but you know, it's cool that they paid attention and you know, added that as one of his accessories. And you can see here again another trademark signature of Leatherface. You have this hook as well. Now, looking at the figure, yeah, the build is really cool. I really dig this cool glove here. That's really wicked idea. And yeah, I love this Army of Darkness style arm brace with the interchangeable arms. Now, it would have been cool if they had Ash, if they had an Ash figurine. That would have been awesome if they had managed to get the license for The Evil Dead and made an Ash figurine, which I'm sure isn't Evil Dead part of the new line. Yeah, look here, they've got Miramax and New Line Cinema. I thought Evil Dead. So they could have put in an extra. They could have put Ash in here, but I suppose they just went for the 5. That would have been cool if they managed to get Ash in. That would have been really cool. And yeah, they could have used this thing, but yeah, it's cool that they had this. I really dig that, and yeah, it's nice. And they give them two separate accessories here. They have the, let's look at that mallet. Yeah, very nicely done. Yeah, I really dig that. And then the mini chainsaw. Yeah, and I like the Dark Ages styling that they've done in that. Really cool. This is definitely not safe for kids. It's very, very sharp here. It kind of hurts a bit when you touch it. You can see here, look, very hard. I can imagine if you played with that too much, that would snap right off. And one of the issues I found with putting this on is that it is really, really hard to put on. It took a lot of work to try and squeeze it on, and I was afraid that I would actually break the connection here. You can see it goes into the hollow in the. It's not because the plastic is so stiff. There is a danger that you could snap that off. So I wouldn't recommend just being a little bit careful with that. And the same with the mallet as well. It's a really tight fit. Maybe if you just pare it down a bit, you could sand it down a bit, not too much, but yeah, it does fit well. Now, looking at the figurine, I love this cool apron here with the blood spatters and everything. That's really cool. And nice detail here, lovely cool belt with the meat hook here in the front. Again, you know, he's got the same kind of Master of the Universe style articulation, muscle, legs, and upper body. I find that the heads are they're quite big, which yeah, looks a bit odd, but you know, it's cool. It's a cool figurine. But as you can see here, this figurine is not as He's very loose. He's got this weird wobble. So that's a bit of a negative here on that side. And I must say that the paint job on the mask is poor. Like, look at these eyes. They're just squares. That's a bad paint job. It's not good. And look at the mouth. It's just blank in there. I don't know, is it white teeth or what? It doesn't stand out. And if you saw one of the promotional shots for these figurines, he looked really, really cool. The mask looked wicked. I don't know what it is that has happened, but maybe it's the color. Like, it is a cool mask looking at it here, but just the eyes, not good. And the mouth as well, they could have done a bit more. Add more paint application here. The stitching looks wicked, quite like that. It does look gruesome, but poor detailing in the eyes and in the mouth. Yeah, the hair is okay. You know, it's okay. But if we just twist them this way, eesh, look at that. That's just lazy. You can just see the gap in between here and here. And I cannot push that in. You know, that's just very sloppy. I think it's just one of those unlucky production errors. He passed the quality test, but just barely. It's a rocky figure, and I must say I'm a bit disappointed. Look at that. He's doing the hula. Yeah, not great. Too loose. And this is, well, you know, it's poor. It's poor. Could have done better here. But apart from that, you know, it's a really cool figure. It's just such a shame that they dropped the ball in those areas, because there is a lot of cool details here. And again, another, look at that, poor paint application along here. Even though they get it perfect here, lovely detail here on the brace. That's just really cool. But then they put in the poor paint job. That's, you know, it takes away from it big time. And the apron is perfect. Really cool detail here. The lovely meadow here, looks excellent. But then another, you know, it's they could have done a bit better. Could have tried a bit more. And I don't know, is it the same? It seems like the same hair that they have for the Michael Myers. They use the same hair. So could have done a bit better. But still, you know, cool figurine. Maybe could have added a bit more to this here. Really dig that glove, really cool. But yeah, overall, one of the poorer ones. And yeah, hopefully, if they get a second chance, they do a better version. Just fix those slight mistakes, especially here in the paint. I think if they had gotten the paint application right here in the face, it would have been so much better. But yeah, that's it from me here at Retro 79. And join me soon when I'll be taking a look at one of the other lines in the Savage World collections, and that is the Thundercats line. So I'll be doing a review of this figure sometime soon. Thank you for joining me. See you soon.